If your cat is waiting at the door when you get home, it may look like a simple little welcome, something cute and easy to explain. Most people stop at, "My cat missed me," and never think twice. But that moment is carrying far more emotional meaning than it seems. In fact, it is one of the most loaded interactions your cat has with you all day. And when people misunderstand it, which happens all the time, they are not just misreading a habit, they are missing a conversation, because when your cat greets you at the door, they are often communicating in a way they reserve for you alone. The first thing happening is that your cat is reading you before you say a single word. Have you ever noticed that on some days your cat seems softer, more curious, more cautious, or more clingy the second you walk in? That is not random. The moment you step through the door, your cat is already picking up on your emotional state. They notice your posture, your pace, your energy, your tension. If you come home drained, irritated, or anxious, your cat often knows before your keys are even off the hook. And what makes this so fascinating is that they do not just detect it, they react to it. Some cats hang back when your energy feels sharp or unsettled. Not because they do not care, but because they are being careful. Other cats move closer right away, almost like they are checking in on you. That response depends on trust, or routine, and on the bond the two of you have built over time, and honestly, that is more emotionally intelligent than many humans ever manage. But that is only the beginning. Because the second thing your cat is doing at the door is even more deliberate. When your cat rubs their face or body against your legs, it may feel like affection. And yes, affection is part of it. But there is something more specific going on. Your cat is updating your scent. All day long, you have been outside collecting smells from strangers, buildings, food, traffic, other animals, and places your cat has never seen. So when you come home, you do not smell fully familiar anymore. You smell altered to your cat. That matters. By rubbing against you, they are placing their own scent back onto you, using the glands on their cheeks, forehead, and body to pull you back into the shared scent map of home. It is their way of saying, "You belong here, you belong with me, you smell like us again now." And if you came back carrying the smell of another animal, your cat may do it with even more focus, even more urgency. Because from their perspective, they are not being dramatic. They are restoring order, but not every door greeting is purely affectionate. And this is where things get really interesting. Sometimes what looks like a loving reunion is actually your cat bringing you a complaint. I know that sounds a little unfair, especially when they look adorable doing it. But once you notice the difference, you cannot unsee it. There are times when your cat is not saying, "I missed you." They are saying, "You're finally home. So now deal with this." If your cat meets you at the door and then immediately turns around and heads toward the kitchen, pausing to check whether you are following, that is not just a sweet welcome. That is direction. They are escorting you. In their mind, your arrival means service has resumed. Food can be part of it, of course, but it is not always about the bowl. Some cats guide their owners toward the litter box, the water dish, a closed door, or a toy they have been staring at for hours. Others greet you by vocalizing non-stop. The second you come in, not because they are overwhelmed with love, but because you are the most interesting thing that's happened all day and they have a full report ready. Cats are far more strategic communicators than people realize. Over time, they learn what kinds of sounds, movements, and behaviors get the fastest response from you. And they use that knowledge very effectively. So, how can you tell whether the greeting is emotional connection or a request wrapped in cuteness? Watch what happens next. A cat that greets you and stays close is usually seeking contact. A cat that greets you and then takes you somewhere is usually asking for something. Both matter. Both are communication. but they are not the same message. There is another layer here too, and it may be one of the most impressive parts of all. Your cat has likely memorized your routine with shocking precision. They are not randomly appearing at the door at the exact moment you get home. In many cases, they have been preparing for your return before you even reach the house. Cats are incredibly sensitive to patterns. They learn the sound of your car, the rhythm of your footsteps, the jingle of your keys, even the subtle noises that happen right before you enter. On top of that, they track time in ways people often underestimate. They learn when you usually leave, when you normally return, and what your household feels like in the minutes leading up to your arrival. That is why your cat may already be sitting there before your hand even touches the handle. And when you are late, that moment often changes. The greeting may become louder, more intense, or more restless because your cat has noticed the break in pattern. To them, that delay is not nothing. It can create uncertainty. So when your cat waits by the door, they are not only reacting to the present moment, very often, they have been anticipating you for a while, tracking your return long before you stepped inside. And that brings us to the part most owners never realize is shaping this entire ritual, what you do in the first few seconds after you walk in. For your cat, the greeting at the door is not a background moment. It is the moment while you are thinking about your shoes, your phone, your bag, or whatever happened outside. Your cat is fully focused on the fact that you are finally home. And cats do not approach connection the way dogs do. They usually do not keep asking over and over if the first bid gets ignored. When a cat meets you at the door, they are offering a brief window of attention on their terms. If you walk straight past them every day, they notice, not in a dramatic way, not with obvious resentment, but in the quiet, highly observant way cats register patterns. Over time, some cats stop greeting altogether, not because the feeling disappeared, but because the moment stopped leading anywhere meaningful. They learned that your arrival does not include them, so they adjust. That is the sad part. The good part is how easy it is to change. You do not need a huge ritual. You do not need to scoop them up, baby talk them, or turn it into a performance. In most cases, 10 calm seconds is enough. Slow down, lower your energy, let them sniff your hand, let them rub against you if they want. Acknowledge them before the rest of the house takes over. That tiny pause can completely change how your cat experiences your return. And now we come to the deepest reason the door matters so much. Your cat did not choose that spot by accident. The doorway is where the safe world inside meets the unpredictable world outside. It is the point where unfamiliar sounds, smells, movement, and possible threats first enter the territory. To a cat, that threshold carries weight. It is one of the most vulnerable places in the home. So when your cat waits there for you, they are not just being charming, they are placing themselves at the border between uncertainty and safety. And when you come through that door, your presence changes what that space means. For many cats, their human functions as a secure base, something steady and regulating in an environment they do not fully control. Your return does not just make them happy, it helps their system settle. That is why this moment can feel so charged, so intentionnel, so emotionally real. So the next time your cat is sitting there when you come home, do not reduce it to a cute habit or a food reminder. Sometimes it is affection. Sometimes it is a request. Sometimes it is relief. But underneath all of it is something powerful. Your cat is telling you that your return matters. In a world they monitor carefully and trust selectively, you are one of the few things that makes everything feel right again.